What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and today we're going to be talking about why online public server racing does not work. And that's actually something that's very important, even for you league racers out there, I feel. Now, what you're going to be seeing in the background is some R Factor 2 from the ISI official server, Howston's at Historic Brianza. We're driving the Howston G6 because everybody loves 200-mile-an-hour rocket ships. This is a public server, pick-up and play environment, and this race was absolutely fantastic. Now let me go ahead and add this note in there. This was my first online race in R Factor 2. I've owned R Factor 2 since the day it came out. Now why is that? Simply put, there's never been the player content, the player base. You know, I don't want to join a 3-person race in the hopes that it turns out to be 3 people that are my exact same speed, thus giving me a good race. The content that is raced fairly popularly, a little bit more popularly I should say, just doesn't excite me, simply put. You know, there's a lot of people out there who drive the Renaults, the Clio, the Megane, the Megane, whatever it is. I don't care for those cars one bit. I think they're piles of crap. I do not enjoy driving them. They're boring, they're unexciting. I would rather do something else with my time. It's fair enough, you know. Some people enjoy it, some people don't. If you enjoy it, good for you. If you don't, good for you. You know, it just works like that. As well as the fact that getting into a race is way too difficult sometimes. They have created a system that does not work at all. And I want to just go ahead and say that for pretty much every single sim, iRacing is the one exception because obviously with iRacing you don't really have a choice. Pretty much every single sim has these exact same flaws with the way that their online gameplay is structured. It's something that's been exactly the same since basically online racing actually started. You know, it's just one of those things that's kind of a holdover when it's not necessarily the way forward or the way that things could be done. You know, honestly, the only other sim, or I should say the only sim, that I've ever experienced that pick up and play online racing actually worked, and worked properly, and worked decently, as in I could join a race with a wide variety of different content, you know, at a regular time slot. You know, I didn't have to just plan my day around getting one online race. Would be the Papyrus sims. You know, Grand Prix Legends and the NASCAR racing games worked brilliantly online. You know, it was very easy to get into a game, very simple, very straightforward, and the communities honestly were better for it, as well as the quality of racing was a lot better than what you typically see in R Factor and various other sims, where very often you see races end up in turn 1 pretty much every single time. In fact, in this race, I'm pretty sure there was a wreck from about 6th position on back before we even got to turn 1. Yeah. But anyways, let's talk about the participation, because that's what really matters. The first thing that I'd like to see changed, and really probably the easiest thing to change, would be structured start times. This makes such a big difference, I have to wonder why in the world it isn't done that way in every single sim already. It just seems like this is one of those no-brainer decisions. A race should start at the same time every single day. More or less, in simple terms, if a race starts at, you know, on the top of the hour, it should start at the top of the hour, the next hour, or the hour after that, you know, so on and so forth. You know, you should never join a server and question, oh, well, is this like going to race in the next 5 laps? Is there like 2 minutes left in the race that's currently going on? Or alternatively, is the race just starting? There should never be a guessing game. You should always know, simply put, when I join a server, there's a race at the top of the hour, every single hour. Simple, it's easy, there's no questioning, there's no guessing. If I join a server, you know, for example, when there's like 2 laps into the race and there's still 25 minutes of racing left, I'm not going to stick around and watch that race because I want to actually drive for myself. That's why I'm playing a racing sim. What does that allow me to do, knowing that that race is going to start at the top of the hour in the next hour? I can leave that server, I can go offline, I can practice up, I can make sure I got everything set up the way I want it. I can get more time with that car and track combination, so that way I'm a better driver when the race starts. I'm safer. I don't need to worry about, am I going to pile up everybody in turn 1? And then I can come back, race starts exactly when the race says it's going to start, and it works perfectly. It's simple. League racing works, gets the participation, because guess what? The timing is the timing. Everybody knows the timing. They know when to show up for the race, and the race actually happens when they say the race is going to happen. Currently, in public server or online racing, that doesn't happen. For a number of factors, this just does not work. And if it does work, it usually only sticks around for a while before people start going, skip qualifying, let's go straight to the race. That should never happen. The race should always go off at the specific time, every single time. It should never change, ever. Just simple, right there. Say the race is going to start here, race is going to start here, show up or you're late. Get the next one. Very, very simple, very small little change that could be done through either the server owners or alternatively the developers encouraging that type of thing with their server tools and the way that they can run servers and everything like that. So I think that would honestly make the biggest difference because, again, I absolutely hate joining a server, seeing that the race is 2 laps old and sitting there for the next 20 minutes doing absolutely nothing because I'm waiting for the next race because I don't know when the next race is going to start up because that's never clearly communicated. By having a structured start time, you alleviate that problem, you fix that problem entirely, and honestly, I guarantee you would see a lot more participation with more clear and easily understood start times. Be it for racing, practice, qualifying, whatever. Just communicate what time the race is going to start and things will improve instantly. Along the same lines, I'd like to see fewer track changes happen. Now this is something that most servers are starting to move towards gradually, it seems like, but I really do enjoy it when a server sticks with a certain track for a week, 3 days, 4 days, whatever. You know, so long as they not constantly switching tracks every 5 minutes, because when you keep switching tracks, you don't allow me to learn a track properly. And then I have to go back, practice, relearn everything. I don't have the confidence in myself. I don't have the confidence to race, you know. It just snowballs. Whereas when I get a chance to learn a track properly, I learn a track, and for example, now that I've done 3 races here at Monza in this car track combination, I know I can instantly jump into the server and, you know, basically be as fast as usual. I don't need to worry about, can I control the car? Do I know the layout of the track? Do I know the break points? Because I already have that memorized. So I can easily just jump right into this server and get going once again. At the same time, in a game like R Factor 2, which supports multiple track layouts, I think that's a great way to help break out the monotony that would inevitably set in. For example, here with the ISI server, why not just toss in the Monza 10K? I mean, Brianza 10K Oval. You know, why not? You know, it's the same track, everything's still familiar, but at the same time, it's slightly different. It gets you a different chance, it gets you a different opportunity. The race plays out a little bit differently, you know, ever so slightly, but at the same time, it's similar enough that you can just jump in and play with ease because you already know the track. You know, short layouts, maybe one race we race the short layout, maybe the next race we race the Grand Prix layout. You know, simple as that. Just little things to break up the monotony, but at the same time keep things the same. On the subject of tracks, it leads me into R Factor 2 and its Get Mod functionality, which started out as a very well-intentioned feature to clear up the online puzzle and make things a lot simpler, a lot more straightforward to join a race and not have to worry about mismatches and everything, which you're familiar with if you have ever played R Factor 1 online. But at the same time, I do not want to have to ever download a track that I don't already have. This is a little bit different than when you think about, you know, a FPS game, for example, where you just commonly instantly download a map when the server switches. When a server switches track, chances are if I don't have that track already, I don't want that track. Why? Because it probably doesn't meet my standards in terms of, you know, layout accuracy or graphical fidelity or anything like that. Or alternatively, it's just a track that I don't care to drive on. You know, if I have the track that the server is currently running, there is no reason I should not be able to just join the server, provided I have the same version of the track with the same version of the car. Simple as that. Me joining a server should not depend on a track being installed that I don't have, that the server isn't running for another 3 hours. It's just highly illogical. It should never happen. Along the same lines, I'd also like to see a quote-unquote whitelist for mods. Have a process that these mods can go through, these tracks, these cars can go through, where they can be officially proved and rated and, ensured that they're actually quality. That way server owners can easily pick from tracks, and when they are updated, it's a lot more simple because everybody knows about it because it is more discussed. You already kind of see this with some of the more popular tracks. I mean, it's basically impossible to miss a virtual LM track release because everybody knows about it because the tracks are so good. We should be encouraging that. And now for the last and probably most controversial suggestion I have to improve online racing, and that'd be driver levels. Now, I know some people will instantly hear this and they're going to flip out, or else they're going to be thinking, that sounds a lot like iRacing. I want to be able to drive any car that I want to be able to drive. I don't want to be kept out of a car. So allow me to explain myself. I think the way would be to keep lower level drivers in a lower level driver server, and then put the higher level drivers into a higher level server. I look at a first person shooter called Red Orchestra 2 Rising Storm, expansion pack for it that you might have heard of it as well, where if you play the game normally and you do what you do, you gain level in that game. You don't need to worry about it. It's never a concern. It doesn't do anything. But at the same time, if you do team kill a lot, you'll A, probably get banned from the server, as well as B, you can actually lose level. Now this is somewhat similar to the iRacing system with the safety rating and the iRating and license level that they got going on over there. However, I don't think it needs to be so harsh. At the same time, I do think it would be great if server owners and operators were able to basically say, you have to be this level to join our server, because that means at that point, we know you're a clean racer, we know you know how to drive, you're not spinning every second corner, you're not wrecking people, you're a safe racer, we can actually have a race, and that could improve the quality of racing with online public server racing, which I think is also a big thing, because the perception of public server racing, it is largely not necessarily untrue, but the turn 1 is a death trap because you very rarely actually survive turn 1 because people are stupid. I think if you can improve the quality of racing and get people to accept the fact that there can be actually good quality racing in public server environments, and you can do that consistently, you can get more people to actually join in because they know they'll be able to get a good quality race even though they don't know the people, even though it's not a league environment, which again, with participation being the way it is, it snowballs. One guy is 2 guys joining your server basically. Because, again, I'm not going to join the server when there's 3 people, but if there's 10 people, I'm in, for sure. There's 15 people? Definitely, I'm really in. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. Big grid. Everybody likes the big grids. Nobody likes the small little 3-car runoffs that they race in 3 separate speed ranges. Again, I don't think that's necessarily something that needs to be, really iron-fisted. That sounded way wrong, but just something there that would allow drivers to be certified as clean racers. Maybe even just have it based on player feedback and be able to do things like that. Similar to Xbox Live, I believe they have that feature as well. Small little thing that could improve the quality of racing, which would improve the participation in the racing, which would make things work a whole lot better for pretty much everyone. So yeah, that's why online racing sucks, and that's why online racing could be fixed. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys enjoy the last lap and a half of this race. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And again, please use this as a discussion starting point. And bring your suggestions to the various developers out there in the sim racing community. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.